Well, good morning, Business 20 students. This is week number 7 in our 16-week course in business mathematics here at Norco College. And this week, you're going to be looking at one of the most exciting chapters of all, chapter 11 on compound interest and present value. This is where you're going to be looking at how your money can grow. You looked at simple interest last week, and simple interest was just basically interest on a set amount of money. So if you put $10,000, you're going to earn interest on that $10,000 every year that it's in there. However, compound interest is that you not only get interest on the 10,000, but now you're going to start getting interest on the interest that you've earned. So if the $10,000 is worth 10,500 at the end of year one, the next year you're going to be getting interest on 10,500, and the next year you're going to be getting interest on 10,000 or 11,000. So every year that you add interest to your principal amount that you invested, it's going to be interest upon interest upon interest, and it compounds quickly, as you will see. So we need to figure out, well, what if I use, an investment that has compound interest? How fast will my investment grow? Or worse, if I borrow money with compound interest, how fast will how long will I have to pay back that money because they're charging me interest on the interest? So anyway, that's what you're going to be looking at in this particular chapter, as well as present value. So again, present value is the idea that I know what I need in the future. I need $10,000 in 5 years. So what do I need to deposit today in order to have that with all the interest and etc. So it's trying to figure out from the perspective of what will I need today to have what I want in the future. That's present value, or compound interest is I know what I have today, what's it going to be worth in the future? So that's the two things that we'll be looking at in this particular chapter. Let's go ahead and take a look at our class in Canvas so we can cover which assignments that you need to make sure you're working on. So here we are on the home page. I'm going to go ahead and select module number 2. We have one more week after this in module number 2, and then we'll be moving into obviously module number 3. So I'm going to scroll down here, and here is this week's work. Oop, it's actually let's see, yeah, right here. So sorry, I didn't change the dates yet. And this will be all published by the time you look at this. Again, I'm recording this video earlier in the prior week, but nonetheless, nothing's changed. So you definitely have a read me first. So make sure you read that. It's going to put compound interest in the context of your business. Then you have Help Sienna, which is going to be kind of setting up what she's going to be facing with compound interest. She wants to build a building, is the truth. And so she's saving money now and she needs a certain amount in the future. So how much is she going to need? And that's actually going to be a part of your problems down here. So it's kind of setting you up for what her goals are. So make sure you read those through. Make sure you mark them as done. Same thing with the study page for chapter 11. You're going to review that and mark it as done. I do provide a formula sheet that uses the tables. So there's two ways you can solve compound interest problems. You can use the tables by figuring out how many times is a loan going to compound in a year, how many times it's going to compound over the life of the loan, and what's the interest rate every time it compounds. And that's what you're going to be figuring out. And once you've figured that criteria out, you can just go to the tables that are provided in your book, and they pretty much stay the same. You can find these online as well, but you can figure out what is your compound interest going to be by finding a table factor based on those two criteria. Now, there's a formula you can use that'll also give you the same value as the table factor. So you're certainly welcome to use the compound interest formula, and that'll give you the table factor, or you can just use the criteria, number of times it's going to compound with the interest rate, and you can also find the table factor on the tables. It's up to you. I'll just say this, most students who use the compound interest formula don't get the problem right. Students who use the tables get it right. So it's up to you. I'm not going to require one way or the other, but I encourage the tables. So the formula sheet has the tables. Your book has the tables as well. So as we come down then to the actual coursework, once again, you have a check-in assignment where you're going to be helping Sienna solve some compound interest problems and present value problems. Again, this goes back to her wanting to save money. She's going to put a sinking fund together, etc. So make sure you review that. That's actually the case study that you're going to be doing. That starts this week. Started last week, actually. No, you're still on this first case study. Sorry. So yeah, you're going to be continuing this case study for 2 more weeks, and then your future case study is actually going to be covering that along with another piece that you'll be learning in chapter 9 and 10, or yeah, chapter 14 when we get chapter 12, sorry, when we get to annuities, you're going to be learning what a sinking fund is. That'll be next. That'll be next module's case study. Sorry, I jumped ahead. You're still working on the bride, the groom, and the tax man, and you have 2 more weeks to do that. So sorry I jumped ahead, but nonetheless, you're going to be helping Sienna in this check-in assignment solve some compound interest problems. You have a quiz on chapter 11, and then you have your first or your second exam, but this is a midterm exam, and it's only going to cover chapters 8 to 11, but there is a lot of fill-in questions, so be prepared for that, especially from chapter 11. So make sure you review a lot, and chapter 10, a lot on those chapters when you're doing this exam. It's worth 100 points, so make sure you give yourself enough time to do that. Don't do it at 11 o'clock at night and think you're going to finish. The night that it's due, start on the weekend or earlier, and that'll help you to get a better grade on the midterm exam. I also give you the quiz because I want you to give you a chance to work through some of the problems. You can take the quiz 3 times, so you'll learn what you've done wrong by taking the quiz and fixing it before you take the exam. So that's kind of the idea. And again, this case study up here will be coming down into this week, a little bit later in the week, so or the start of next week when you're watching this video. When you watch this video and you go into your class, you should see everything laid out exactly as it should be for week number 7 going forward. So, all right, that's it for week number 7. Have a great week, and you will see me all on video again next week as we will be covering chapter 12 on annuities, which is a lot of fun. So, until then, have a good one. If you need to get a hold of me, please reach out to me during my office hours or via text or email, and we can set something up.